This episode of the Italian Wine Podcast is brought to you by the new book, Sangiovese, Lambrusco, and Other Vine Stories. Researchers Attilio Scienza and Serena Imazio explore the origin and ancestry of European grape varieties in a tale of migration, conquest, exploration, and cross-cultural exchange. Hardback available on Amazon in Europe, Kindle version available worldwide. Find out more at ItalianWineBook.com.
Italian Wine Podcast. Chin Chin with Italian wine people.
Hello, this is the Italian Wine Podcast with me, Monty Waldin. My guest today is Julia Coney. Julia is based in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Okay. How did you get into wine and what do you do?
Well, I write about wine. I got into wine from an attorney I used to work with. I used to be a paralegal.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yes.
Go on. And what's that? What is paralegal?
You assist attorneys, you handle documents, all the files, like just keep everything kind of a well-oiled machine.
Okay, so where were you doing that?
In Houston, because I'm from Houston, but I live in D.C.
So that's you're Texan then?
Texan, yes, through and through.
So hang on, how did you, just wind back that, so you were born and raised there?
I was born in Louisiana, which is kind of like next to Texas.
Okay, so
Then
you're born
I
in Louisiana,
was
grew up
raised
in Texas.
Yes.
Then you became a paralegal.
Yes.
It sounds very kind of like a job with a lot of responsibility.
A lot of responsibility, but I got to travel the world. It was a lot of fun too, so I have to admit that.
So go on, what was a typical day-to-day there?
Well, emails, lots of copies. This is
So like emailing what, judges or lawyers?
Emailing other lawyers with documents, reviewing documents, making sure all the cases filed. So it was a lot of handling of paper, a lot of making sure everything flowed together, filing documents with the court. Then you would go to trial. So I went to trial a lot in different places and understanding that. So, 16-hour days, some days almost 20-hour days.
So you're the person that makes sure that a case runs smoothly, because if documents are missing,
Exactly.
they're key to the
yes,
case.
I'm the key to the case.
So you're not advocating for one side or another. You're just lawyers that are involved in case. You're getting all the stuff that they need, and
yes. Well, each team has a side, so we all had our own side. But I handled a lot of paper.
in terms of that particular job, I mean, is there any opportunity for you to do anything naughty and that you would get in trouble or not, or just incompetence?
Yeah, but I wouldn't do anything naughty.
No, I know you would. I know you would.
But you could. It was a lot of fun, though. I learned a lot. I still keep in touch with a lot of those people. I made great friends for life. So, but also the skills I think helped me in what I do now.
So what skills did you learn from that then, apart from organisational?
That's the best thing, to be organized, to actually read every single thing, to read it sometimes twice, sometimes 3 times, and to actually think about it before you answer, and also think about everything you're going to do will have a repercussion, right or wrong, nothing bad, but that
So were
helps.
these civil cases or criminal cases?
Civil.
Okay, so there's a lot of fine margins in terms of documents
Yes,
and
commas
wording.
matter.
Yeah, okay.
Those type of things.
So, and obviously you're writing as well, so you've got a superb grasp of language in terms
Yes,
of the...
and also have a degree in English.
Okay,
So
where did you get
yes.
that one from then?
University of Houston.
Okay,
Yes.
All right, so how did you get into... First of all, you got into beauty. You had a beauty blog, is that right?
Yes, I had a beauty blog.
So how did you jump from paralegalism to beauty
Beauty
tips?
was a hobby. Somebody told me I should start a beauty blog because I was traveling to France every year to get facials.
Just to get a facial?
Just to get a facial. I mean, I traveled to eat and drink, but it was also to get a facial.
So why couldn't you get a decent facial in the States?
They're just different. They're decent in the States, but they're very different.
Go on.
European skincare is very different. It's a lot more about... In the States, everything was makeup at that time, and skincare was second, whereas in Europe, skincare is a big deal, and makeup is... Yes, there's makeup, but it's always second.
Yeah, I have to say you look absolutely radiant.
Thank you.
Really?
Yeah, thank you. I do a lot of work for it.
Yeah, I mean, you're... yeah, I wouldn't... You probably got a lot of practice, but...
A lot of practice.
So I'm not a fashion... You look at me, I'm not
a fashion person, per se. I like to be nicely dressed, but that's about it. But beauty was like the thing.
I feel really underdressed next year. My shirt is hanging out. It's not properly ironed. It's a classic man ironing. I do the ironing.
Oh, my gosh.
So
okay.
the wrinkles, I do apologise. It's very your sartorial elegance. Okay, so why did you start writing and when?
2006. I started the blog in March of 2006. And it was a hobby. and I was still doing the paralegal work. I enjoyed it. And so as I did that, the blog became bigger. So in 2006, blogs weren't what they are now. And so in 2008, the blog really took off.
So that was on beauty, though, wasn't it?
All on beauty. But my background in beauty was like scientific. So I'm very curious about what ingredients are in things, and definitely ingredients in fragrance. Fragrance is still very hard for me not to wear fragrance when I talk about wine.
Not to, yeah, oh, I see, because it
would hinder, but I still love fragrance. And so I'm fascinated with flowers, the elegance of fragrance. So when I think of wine, I think of fragrance first. I always think of not just it has cherries, but what flowers it also has. Because a lot of wines, you have hints of violets, hints of jasmine, but they don't really come across the same way. It's like citrus, right? When we say citrus, is it dried citrus? Is it, peel? Is it actually the juice? So I think of it in those terms, and I always refer to fragrance in learning how to really smell fragrance to understand wine.
So you're the same with food? I mean, when you're in a restaurant and someone puts the plate that you've ordered on the table?
I smell it first.
And what about humans?
No.
I kind of oh my God, did I have a chef?
I don't smell humans first. I think because sometimes it's why everybody likes truffles, right? When you smell a truffle and they're shaving, it's just a sensory overload, right? You don't know what to do. It's the same with cheese, or with you get a great dish. That to me is how wine relates, right? But I also think okay, I can't wear fragrance and taste wine, but I always relate wine to fragrance in some type of way. And so eventually the blog was becoming a job, and I had a job. So I had to decide which job I wanted to do. Okay,
and you chose?
I quit my law firm job in 2010 to go freelance.
It must have been a little bit scary. I imagine, for the job that you had, you were surviving.
Very secure. Yeah. Very secure. And it was very scary. It's still sometimes I always think it's very different, But I've been doing it now freelance 9 years, and I'm very grateful. I've had some great people behind me and helping me, and especially making a transition from beauty to wine like I did in 2016.
So why did you make that transition? You just wanted to try something new, or?
No, I just started thinking I was 43, and I wanted my next act to finally be in food and wine. And I always say food and wine go together, but I think the industry also keeps them very separate.
Yeah.
Either you're into wine or you're into food. It's you can't almost be into both. And I don't know anybody who's not into food that's not into maybe wine a little bit, or people who are into wine that's not into food. So I'm always they're one and the same to me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I have to confess, my knowledge of food is pretty limited, even though I know what I like, and very lucky I live in Tuscany, so I've been exposed to and travelled a lot. But people say, what did you have for dinner last night? I can't really remember. But they asked me the wine, I can tell you exactly what I drank last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm in the demographic that would need your help.
Well, I wake up and have breakfast thinking about lunch. I have lunch thinking about dinner. I do. And I'm thinking, what am I going to make with that? What am I going to drink with dinner? I don't know. I think they go together.
So when you're out shopping for produce, how fussy are you?
I'm very fussy.
I mean, you literally go around
I love grocery stores.
Nosing everything.
Yes, I know. I smell. I look. I kind of hold things up to the light. I'm very picky about produce and vegetables, and I'm spoiled in that way.
But I imagine you're the person that really would interact with the person selling. Where's it from? And
oh, I ask.
You're not just going to pick it up and weigh it and pay your dollar and off you go.
I go through I touch every garlic clove. I have to see how tight it is, because sometimes they're loose. It's a process.
Have you ever had your own vegetable garden? Have you ever been able to have that?
I don't have time. My husband and I tried, and we just couldn't take care of it because I was never around.
What does he do?
He works in tech.
Oh, tech?
He works in IT.
Okay, and is he kind of got an artistic side, or is he just a techie?
No, he just drinks whatever I put
Opposites attract.
Yes. He drinks beer, and then I tell him to taste the wine. He's like, okay.
Okay, but if he turns up with, say, a fast food burger, for example, do you frown, or do you say, well...
Oh, no. I'm an equal opportunity eater. I like fancy food. I'm equal opportunity. I don't judge people's food choices.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes you just want a fast food burger.
Yeah, sometimes you want some comfort. We call it comfort food.
Comfort food, yes.
Okay, so you talk on your blog of now I see why you call it a métier. Explain to me, why do you use that?
Métier is a study, right? So I always tell myself I'm constantly studying to be better. I'm naturally curious, so I'm one of those people, it's like a dog with a bone. If I get an idea, I'm down a rabbit hole. And it's the same with wine, because wine is a rabbit hole. I tell people this all the time. Everyone comes to wine from different, I don't come from a family that drinks. Nobody in my family really drinks, but I have a job now that I drink for a living.
Was that for religious reasons? Or
no, they didn't like the taste.
Yeah. Okay.
They never judged that, I like wine, and I was into wine. But I think that when you sit down, right, and you have this glass, there's so much to talk about in it. So I'm naturally curious, okay, also, where does it come from? I believe in voting with dollars. Like, who are the producers? Who am I helping? Are the workers getting in the vineyard? Are they getting adequate pay? I think of all that when I buy wine. And I think that a lot more people are really concerned with that. I think as we look at the changes in the wine industry, what is happening globally, climate-wise, we all have to realize we are trying to make it for the next generations to come. But the one thing that's very interesting is, like, we always talk about, like, wine, but we talk about the lack of diversity in a lot of industries. But the wine world, I think the problem with the lack of diversity is we don't talk about inclusion.
Yeah.
So we're always like, we're trying to be diverse, but we're not including everyone that's different in that conversation.
Yeah.
So that's why I write about that and I talk about it. And I think you also have to not just talk about it in terms of wine, just in terms of life and culture. So I'm like reading the art section in the newspaper because all of it connects. Instead of like one is separate, we're all parts of the same moving vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, you've highlighted two massive issues. I mean, our industry is hideously white. That's the first thing that's undeniable. And the second issue is worker safety and workers' rights. And I'm not saying everywhere. Some countries are better regulated in terms of, minimal conditions and in food breaks or maternity breaks. But I mean, temporary workers, which is in California, is the main majority of workers in vineyards don't have fixed contracts. And in terms of their future when they retire, if they ever get to retire, is not always assured.
Yes.
And when we see wines that are sold for a ridiculous amount of money, we never really we ask ourselves what terroir was it from, how long was the red wine on skins, that kind of stuff. What we don't say is how many dollars per hour the people who pick this stuff
make, and also are they able to not just stay pickers, right? Can they evolve and work for the company? Like, how does that work? And so I understand the industry is notoriously white. That happens. It is what it is. But how the perception of other people who are not white in the industry, and that's a lot of problems with the wine industry that I talk about, is this: everybody judges, right? We all have implicit bias. Everyone has implicit bias. But when it affects another person's livelihood, how is that affected? Or it affects another person because you can't get past what you've been told or what you've heard or what you said, because words mean things. And I think in this industry, that's changing, and it has to change, right?
But is it changing fast enough, though? And what can we do to make that change?
It's not changing fast enough. And I think the problem of it is everybody's talking and no doing. And it has to be, we have to take the blinders off, because also at the end of the day, we're in a business to sell. We're in a service business. So our job is to serve. And that job is to also make green. We need to make money, right? But the problem of it is we have to get rid of some of the old ways, some of the things that are being said. And I'm specifically talking about in the U.S., like the assumptions that wine professionals make. To me, all the time, like, I thought all black people like sweet wine. And they'll say that. And they won't think anything of it when I challenge them on it, or they get offended. But why were you getting offended when you just offended me? So we have to have these uncomfortable conversations for people.
But how do you say to them, what is your advocacy? How would you say you made an assumption there, and I'm just going to tell you why you're wrong?
That's what I say.
What do you say to
I
people?
always tell them, I said, where do you get this from?
What date?
Where did you read this?
Where's the data?
Are you going by what you assume? Are you going by maybe you watched a hip-hop video? What are you going by? Where are you getting this information? And if you can't tell me I can go find it, then that is a problem. So now we have to say, you can't say that anymore. And a lot of them are like, oh, I never thought about it. They just made the assumption because somebody else probably made the assumption. So they assume, and everybody keeps assuming without change. So I always say, please go back and tell whoever you're talking to that, please, that's not true. And usually people will come to me and go, okay, I thought about it, and we'll go start an email conversation, right? And we'll be able to have a good conversation. But then I'll get people who tell me, oh, you need to quit writing about race because no one cares about race in wine. And that just happened. Somebody sent me an email last month and told me that. But then he said, well, I'm an Italian American. So when I responded back to him, I said, well, you identify with your nationality. How can you say that? You didn't say you're an American. You said you're an Italian American. first. Like, so think about what you wrote me, and then think about why it's not okay for you to say that to me.
Yeah, it's kind of almost, he's kind of making himself look very silly, you know, because exactly as you pointed out, and I think the way you probably dealt with that is without shouting, just have a look at yourself and then get back to me.
He didn't get back to me.
Yeah.
No response.
No polemics or anything like that.
No.
So he was a guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a wine director, actually, of a big wine company, wine restaurant group in the States.
We'll get right back to the Italian Wine Podcast after a quick reminder that this episode is made possible by the book Sangiovese, Lambrusco, and Other Vine Stories, available on Amazon in Europe and Kindle worldwide.
But I mean, on your website, for example, I mean, you know, obviously you're writing down your thoughts about tastes and things like that. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the advocacy side of you, the thing that comes through from talking to you,
yes,
were these issues, rather than whether Cabernet Sauvignon tastes of blackcurrants or red currants.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I think because no one was talking about it in the industry, and I just came from a professional side of beauty, and I go into the wine industry, and I'm like, holy moly! Like, I didn't say that, said the S word. I don't know. But I'm like, I'm looking at it like, what is the problem? Like, and just so much was said to me that started in 2017 that I was so shocked. And I was like, okay, the winery has a problem, but no one wants to address it.
But what about other industries, say the fashion industry, where, you know, they could have issues with the age of models or how the models are treated?
Yes.
Do you think that same prejudice is as strong there, or they bury the prejudice because they know that if they put a picture of Naomi Campbell on the front of the magazine, they're going to sell more dresses, for example?
Yes, but I think they also are addressing it now. I think we live in an age where a lot of people have voices. Social media has allowed people to say things and we hold people accountable now that before I don't think we did. When things happen.
So like Me Too, that's an egregious example of bad treatment.
Of bad treatment. No, people are not taking it anymore. And also, too, when we think about wine and we think about advertising in wine, don't you want to see yourself represented? Yeah. Like I do. I mean, I look at a lot of ads, and not necessarily like ads per magazines, but ads on websites for wineries. And I'm always shocked. I'm always, in 2019, you'll say we just updated our site, and you have everybody who's a size 0, everybody who's blonde, no one who is brown, but then you want someone like me to mention your wine, or I don't want to mention your wine. Why would I mention your wine when I send people who look like me to the website? They don't see themselves. They don't see anybody brown. That's a problem. They don't see anybody age. We got to talk about the ageism, right? Not necessarily a bad thing, but everything is like, well, we have to worry about the millennials and how do you attract the millennials and the next, whatever before the next generation after millennials. What about the people like me who have disposable income to buy the wine? We're missing. No one talks about the 35 to 55. That is where the money is. But everyone's like, oh, we got to worry about the young people. Yes, we do.
See, in some ways, it's like the kind of the golf club with the first person of colour that joins the golf club is I don't know, ostracised or whatever. There's that sort of uncomfortable thing, and I'm scratching my head to think of. I mean, I've lived in the States twice. Wine adverts with a person of colour. I've never ever seen one. I can't remember that I've seen. Honestly, I just don't think I've never seen one. I mean, advertising wine.
No, not advertising wine.
Never seen.
No, they're not advertising wine.
Pretty young things that are white, or people maybe my age that are white.
Yes, beautiful vistas. Yeah. A beautiful tablescape.
Yeah.
And you look at it, and I'm going, who was on this marketing campaign, right? Who was on this marketing campaign? Because if you think about like fashion now, they're slowly changing, right? Mm-hmm. But that's going to like the bigger houses, and it's always the ones that are lesser. I'm always thinking like, who are you targeting? Even if now, because what's the first thing people look at for advertising right now? Instagram. We look at social media first in a different way because a lot of people aren't buying print editions of magazines. But if you look at websites, social media, I mean, and they're primarily Instagram, which is just photos and videos, it doesn't reflect a lot, what the world looks like. And pretty much not, especially if you're trying to target the United States. Because the United States, we have a history of race, and it's really tough. Right? It's really tough. But the problem is we have that issue, and every other country also feeds off that issue. So in their mind, I think they might be thinking, why should I bother? But at the end of the day, dollars. Yeah. Money.
But I mean, so that's so short-sighted, though, because you're only focusing on one, quotes, demographic, aren't you?
Yes.
And you're alienating
a lot of people who want to. And also, that's, I think, the rise of private clubs, right? Private wine clubs where people can order wine to their home in the States because they don't feel, a lot of people don't feel comfortable going to a winery. They don't feel comfortable going out to visit a winery because they feel they're going to be judged, which 9 times out of 10 they are. It happens to me, and I work in the business.
Yeah, it's extraordinary.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't bring a famous wine writer, but imagine a famous female wine writer turns up at a winery and says, "Oh, you're white. Can't have you here." Maybe if the tables were turned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've had people say, "Oh, I didn't expect you to be black." I mean,
but how do you do it? How do you reply?
Oh, I expect you.
I am.
No, I just say I didn't expect you to be an asshole. That's just like I didn't know what to say to that because
that's a good way of kind of
diffusing it because then this
hitting the nail on the head.
And then I can say, why would you think that? Like, oh well, your name, and then it goes back to, are we talking names? And it's always a different level of things. Yeah. So I'm actually okay with having a very uncomfortable conversation and actually talking it through because I think that's the way you have to do. Some people want to talk, some people don't. But more want to talk than not. That's what I'm finding. More people want to talk, and they really want a solution. And I think it becomes when you're maybe even they're doing college tours and they're going to campuses, if they're looking at marketing, and you really see that everybody in this room looks like me, then we have to find somebody that doesn't.
You need 2 things. You need, people start appealing to certain demographics because only seeing the economic benefit rather than the social benefit or the common sense benefit, then that's obviously another problem potentially, isn't it?
Yes.
People have got to do it wholeheartedly and for the right reasons.
And for the right reasons, because if you walk, especially in the United States, depends on where you live. I can't say but Washington, D.C., major cities, you walk around, you see so many colors of people walking around, all different colors, all different shapes. That's not what we see in this industry and many other industries. So it's understanding that the people who are responsible for that need to say, okay, how do I put other people in the room? I may not know them, but somebody knows somebody. Especially, once again, the way social is connected. We're all connected to somebody. So it's using that and figuring that out. Yeah,
I mean, the irony of Washington, D.C. is the seat of government, and I don't know exactly what the demographics are, but if you look at the Senate and your politicians are majority white.
Yes, but the politicians come from the other states.
Yeah, right.
They don't really come from D.C.
But in general, that building, what's inside the building, the people making the laws, is not representative of the demographics of the USA.
No.
So, and that's another reason why, an uphill struggle in terms of electoral representation. That has to be one way where things will change, and it's probably going to be an extraordinarily slow road given how the electoral system works in America, where white rural America has more power per vote
than the bigger cities that actually has more people. So
it's, in a way, it's kind of the way that you're doing it is not via politics, but via personal contact and personal education via your website and what you do.
But that's why I like to speak to people. And I think we've gotten, sometimes you can get lost in emails but I also always believe like human contact, human interaction will change things. And it's conferences like this. I mean, it's one of those things, why would people want to work in our industry too? I can say it's fun, but unless I mentor someone else to come along, which is my job now, which is, as Yannick said, my social responsibility, I have to do that. So I'm hoping that in the next 5 years, I see it easier for a lot of people.
Okay, and on that note?
On that note?
Yeah, it's been great to meet you.
Thank you. We should have some wine.
Yeah, it's a little bit early. It's half past 10 in the morning.
Just a little bit. It's been fun.
You've got such a bubbly personality. Is not what I want to say. It's you've got real presence.
Thank you.
The way that you project your authority and you do it in an incredibly soft, friendly, logical way, that you are the kind of person that could just disarm your enemy with just a couple of words. And just say, why are you being such an idiot?
Yeah.
And you know what? You're right.
I had to work on that.
Yeah, I know. But rather than, who the hell are you telling me to do?
No.
So when you say you had to work on that, what do you mean?
But I have 4 older brothers. So
4 older brothers?
Yeah, I'm the baby. So we always had to talk our conflict through. And my parents would talk it through. And I've learned to see every person for who they are because everyone has a different personality and you have to go at each person very differently. So I learned that growing up. I dealt with one brother one way and it's just logical, family arguments, family disagreements, and that's what we do. We just talk it through and figure it out so no one gets a hot head. It's practice.
Yeah, your parents seemed like very good people.
They were very good people, yeah.
What did they do? What was their background?
My dad was the first black U.S. Marshal for the state of Texas.
In state of Texas?
Yes.
Wow, that's
and my mom was a teacher, so yeah. And I come from people who believe in helping other people, so my dad, we were at a house that had everybody over. If a kid, my parents knew that kid didn't have Christmas presents, they bought them presents. We were just that family, and I come from from people who are like, your job is to help someone else. No matter what you do, that is your job. That is the reason you're on this planet.
So just to give one little segue, when we'd obviously never met before until about, 25 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And we spotted each other. It's a big conference, a lot of people. And the first thing that happened was I just got embraced by you. Never met me before, never spoken to me before.
Yeah, that's me.
And it's like, okay, this is going to be a great interview.
Because I like people.
Yeah.
And I am a hugger, so I'm a naturally hugger type person. I'm a touchy-feely person, as we like to say. So I always try to make somebody feel welcome, and that's just, it's also Southern hospitality.
Well, you're very welcome to come back anytime you want.
Thank you.
Been absolutely inspirational.
Thank
you. You're such a personality, a great sense of humour. You see everything in proportion, and you don't scream and shout. You just say there's a way of getting around this. It's going to take time, but we can do it if we all pull together.
We all got to pull together. We got one planet.
Super. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Inspirational.
Thank you.
Yeah. We wish we had more time, actually. But if we can hook up at some stage over the next day and a bit, be great.
Yes.
Give us a hug, come on.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on, Julia.
Oh, thank you.
I wish you every success and safe travels back to the States.
Yeah. That's the only part I hate.
And don't give up.
I hate to travel. I hate to fly. That's I really hate to fly.
Don't give up on what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Listen to all of our pods on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Himalaya FM, and on ItalianWinePodcast.com. Don't forget to send your tweets to @ItaWinePodcast.